Okay, this is a video for lab 5. So the first part we're gonna talk about the assembly, and so first let's start assembly. We need to create a new file. Alright, so you're gonna pick assembly, and you need to find your folder which has all the parts file inside. Okay, and you can give it a name. And if you notice, this is .prt. It's the same as your modeling file, so they do have the same file type. Okay, let's click OK. And here we can select the file from your folders. We can click this one, open, and let's select this and press Control. Which one that? Yeah. So you can multi-select by press Control and click on the parts. So we have handle, lower jaw, maybe the trigger. Okay, and we can click OK. So once you click OK, you can see they are loaded, and you can pick from this window, and you can also multi-select, select them all. Also press Control and click. Okay, so that's your preview. They're gonna all tangle together at the orange. So that's your positioning, because I put on orange. Okay, well, let's try to insert the first one only. Let's insert the lower jaw, and make sure your reference set is at model. Okay, so the coordinate system gonna be your assembly coordinate system instead of the individual part, instead of them having their own coordinate system. Let's click apply. Okay, we have the first part. Now we can insert the handle, and for handle we can try a different approach. We can use by constraint positioning. So let's pick handle and by constraint positioning, click apply, and here is your constraint. We can use fit constraint to fit the hole in the handle to this hole on the lower jaw, and fit is for two cylindrical surface, and they're gonna share the center line, and it's different from concentric. Concentric is for two circles, and two circles are on the same face, and they're 2D shape, and fit for 3D cylindrical shape. Okay, so fit. First we're gonna pick the inside of this hole, and the second we're gonna pick the inside of that hole. But we have a sheet here. We can use wireframe, then pick this surface. Okay, and you can see the jaw just jumped to the other position. That is because they fixed the handle at its position, and the jaw moved into this position. We can click OK and have a look at the shape. See, okay, so that's our handle and jaw. If you click here, the assembly navigator, okay, we can see two parts here and a constraint already here. I'm going to just stop adding component now, so we can enter the NX. So here we are in assembly. You will have this assembly manual bar, and if you don't like this, you can go to start and unclick assembly. So when you unclick this bar is gonna go away. Okay, but for assembly we need this part. Okay, so the inserted component will have all the solid body as well as the sheet body. So for for assembly, we don't want this sheet, so we can modify a component within the assembly. So, well, essentially assembly is a modeling environment. So we can select the handle and right click, choose make work part. Another way is you can click on the geometry. Okay, click, and that's a quick menu, and this is the button for make work part. You can click this, and the other components are grayed. Okay, the assembly and the lower jaw are gray, and we are working on the handle only. And also you can see the sketch just showed up. So now we are basically in modeling, just you can see the other parts. Okay, and so it's very simple. We just click on the sheets and choose hide. So once you're done, we can go back to assembly navigator and right click on the assembly and click make work part. So we are back to this assembly now. And okay, so since we have the constraint here already, let me make it a wireframe. You can see that's your constraints sign, and let's see what will happen if we can make this jaw fixed. We can add another constraint, choose fix, but this is just for demonstration. So when you assemble your parts, you don't want to fix this jaw because it's a moving part. Probably you're gonna fix one of the handles, and so the other handle can move, and all things gonna move based on that handle. Okay, so now for demonstration, I'm just gonna fit this lower jaw, and you can see the icon. And then once you click OK, let's try to move this part. So for move a component, this is your button, or you can as well click your geometry. That's your quick menu, move. Okay, this is very similar to the move object command in modeling. And we have dynamic, distance, point to point, all different method. So I just use dynamic, and let's see what happens. So if you drag this translation direction, you will expect it to translate. But since we have one fit constraint here, so when you move, it's actually hard to move that direction. So when you move, this end will be fixed on that, in that hole. So no matter what you move, it's gonna obey that constraint. Okay. Well, that's just a demonstration on how the constraint works. So when you move your components, they're not gonna run crazily all over your screen. Okay. And now we are in assembly. If we want to add more components, we can use this button, add a component, because these two we added them when we open the assembly file. Okay, then we can keep adding component. Well, here we already loaded a lot of components because we are in that folder, so NX will find them. If it doesn't find them, you can always open and find your component and your parts. So let's insert a trigger. Okay, the trigger gonna go this hole, and we can also use by constraint but I'm gonna use by orange, and we can click OK. So that's your trigger at the orange, and so we want to move that thing here, and so now it's tangled. We can click on this part and choose move. Now we can move this trigger away from that mess and move this maybe close to this hole. Okay, and since there's no constraint, you can move all directions. Click OK, and alright, so now we want this to fit in that hole. Again, we're gonna use constraint, and it's gonna be fit for two cylindrical face. Okay, first we pick one face, second we pick this face here, and we click OK. Alright, so if you look at here, there is some distance, some gap between these two, which is matches the reality, and you can keep this, just leave it like this, but once you move this trigger, it's gonna move up and down. So another way you can do is you can put distance constraint here. Okay, you can put distance, and we can pick the maybe the center of that arc. So center of that edge to, let's see, where is a good place. Okay, turn on wireframe. Okay, it's gonna be a better way to do this. Maybe the center line. It's not a good place. Okay. Alright, try to pick a face. Cancel this, and I don't want to save apply the change, and again that's gonna be distance. Okay, and we can choose the center of that arc, center of this edge, or just this edge, to the surface of this, and that's our distance. You can measure, or you can, well, let's try to just put this number first. Okay, let's put okay, we can measure this. Okay, so we're gonna measure. Now here's our measure tool, and we can choose projected distance, and we want the distance on z direction, and that's gonna be the distance from, it's kind of hard to measure that. Okay, well, just leave this maybe smaller enough, 0.1. Okay, that's one distance, and apply. So the second one is the same. So that's the distance from the circle to this face. Okay, and we're gonna add another distance from this circle to this surface. Okay. Alright, it's picking up my snapping point. That's not good. I just leave this like this. Alright, now we have put the trigger, the handle, the jaw. So we can, you can keep doing this and put, when you model after you model the jaw handle, you can add the jaw handle, okay, and add this and move, also since this jaw handle is actually save as from this lower jaw, they're on the same direction, so we want to turn this thing 180 degrees, and you can just turn this by hand and watch the angle in the small window. Okay, click OK, and we're gonna hide those two sheets, so click on the solid and make this as your work part. Then we can pick the two sheet, that's your hide button, or you can go to your part navigator to hide them. You can right click, hide. Okay, that's pretty much all we need to do, and we can right click on the assembly, make it as your work part. So now we can use another fit command. So fit constraint, we can choose fit. It's gonna be, we're gonna put this hole, okay, into the hole in the jaw handle, and click OK. So if you model everything right and you haven't turned these two parts on Y axis, on Z axis, they should match each other like perfectly. Okay, and that's your jaw. This is a wire cutter on just a cut, and now we can make this handle go outside a little bit. Okay, so that's pretty much the stuff you want, and I think I needed to demonstrate the connector. Okay, let's insert the connector and the screw. So the screw and the connector, they are like the connection between them kind of weird. Not weird. It's not regular. Not perfectly designed for computer to do it. Okay, we can move this out and move this out. Apply. And where's my screw? Okay, screw. Maybe do that again. Okay, screw. We need to move it down, and you don't even need to rotate this. We can add a constraint, fit constraint, and this surface gonna go inside to this hole. Okay, so now it's not very good though. Okay, then we need to move Let's try to rotate this 180 degrees. See, that's why when you have, you don't have enough constraints, that everything's gonna move. Alright, let's click OK and ditch and go back. Rotate first, I guess. Rotate 90 degrees, or not, don't have to be accurate, just you have a general direction. Then fit, let's do that, click OK. And now let's move this inside a little bit. So actually let me hide this handle first. Okay, and if you remember, this shape is kind of this way. Yeah, nope, that way. I don't have to do this. Cancel. Okay, let me move to a general position first. Probably like this, and I'm gonna add another fit constraint for this hole into that hole. Click OK. Now you can see it's not very let's say it's not very right, and we need to put this in the middle of two surfaces. We can use direction, so this way I'm sorry, distance, we can make the distance from this surface to that surface, okay, equals to the distance from this surface to the bottom surface. So we have point 2 here, and apply. We can add another distance, and you pick this surface, pick that surface, and you can see this 0.05, that's 0.2, so the total distance is 0.25. So we can make this, okay, 0.125. It's gonna give me conflict. Okay, that's fine. And I'm gonna go back, change that distance. That's also gonna be, well, we don't need this anymore, because if you have two constraints, and it's gonna be over constraint. So I just put 2 because I want to measure the total gap between these two. So we can delete this, and since we know the total distance from the top surface to top surface of your connector on the two sides adds up to 2.1, 2.5, oh no, 0.25. So a half, it will be 1/8. Okay, so now we can rotate this, and it's not gonna move too much. Well, it's gonna move that, move the handle. So we also need another constraint here. So here, if you remember, this surface, the gap between these two, the handle is gonna be the same as this this jaw. there's no play between these two, the gap. So we can add another align another constraint called touch align. We can use touch, or we can use preferred touch. That's like a smart tool. We can use touch. Okay, and we can pick this surface and make sure this surface gonna be touching that surface, and we click OK. So once you did that, okay, let's see what happens when we move this connector. And if you move, and I'll try to move Z direction, it's not gonna move. Okay. Alright. So click OK. And now we're gonna put this corner at the top of this screw. So maybe move the handle a little bit close to the screw. Click OK. And alright, so we can also move this a little bit close. And click OK. Alright, now you want this corner to touch two edge of this around the tip. So that's how the actual pliers would look like. So here what I did is I put this surface, the surface here, put a distance constraint between this and that edge, then put another distance constraint for this surface and the edge of this cylinder. So let's go ahead and do it. Constraint distance. Okay, first we pick the surface, and second we pick this the edge. So make sure you pick this edge, or you can hover a little bit and use that quick pick. We can choose the edge of the screw. Okay, we can put the distance to 0. This is the first step, and the second step is this face to the same edge. Okay, pick that edge and put 0. Let's see what happens. Alright. Okay, so it's not what I expected though. Okay, I think that some direction is not right. Alright, that's because I picked the center of that edge. So go back, and go back. Okay, let me do this again. Hopefully it's gonna work. Well, it worked before. Okay, and right, distance, face, edge. Alright, now when you look at this line, the distance snaps to the edge. Okay, probably you're gonna like play this around for a while, try to get that edge. Edge. I think we need to pick this. So pick this edge in the screw instead of arc center. Made a mistake. So 0, apply. Okay, and close this. So now yeah, it tries to match the this distance, but this is good enough. So when you move this screw up and down, okay, it's not moving. Try to move this handle. Alright, that's my jaw handle does not like this. Okay, so the jaw handle, we have the fit constraint, and let's move this, see what happens. Okay, that works well. And you know, when it works, note the screw. The screw goes inside and out. It should not be like this, because the screw actually limits this connector. So what we can do is let's see. Okay, we remove this fit constraint first, fixed constraint first. Remove this, and I want to, well, let me hide those surface first. Hide this. Okay, and go back to assembly. Alright, so you should fix this big handle. So when you move this handle, that jaw will move, but this big handle will not move. And put a fixed constraint here, and then click OK. Then also we want to fix the position of this screw. So when we move the right handle, it's not gonna move like it should not be. So we have a lot degree of freedom now. Okay, and then we put a distance constraint for the handle, maybe for this surface to the bottom surface. So this way you can adjust the distance, like in real life you can screw this screw inside or outside. Let's get a nicer number, 0.8. Okay, so the screw is fixed pretty much, and that's fixed. Let's try to move this handle to see how this thing operates. So it's not moving at all. Maybe move this. So we almost get the operation of the pliers. So this will be good enough for your report, and you will need to add those fit constraint, and you know, maybe you also need to add this distance to fix this nut, and probably you need that fixed constraint, and here you need this 2 constraint to make sure this corner rests on the tip of your screw. So let me keep trying to move this handle. And, I think this video is done already. If you don't want to watch anymore, you can just leave. And I'm still trying to move this. Alright, I missed something, I think. Okay, it's moving up and down. Okay. It's moving out of the handle. Alright, so what we can do is we can put this face and that face at the same height. So constraint, I think maybe align. Okay, we can use align constraint to make this surface and that surface. So they're aligned, that means they are on the same plane. Okay. Now let's move the handle again. So we are trying to eliminate all the excess degree of freedom here. So eventually we're gonna end up, like this. This is the only movement this plier should behave. Okay. So, and also you can adjust the screw distance, make them fully clamped. Alright, so this video about the assembly is done. We still have a video about how to make this jaw handle. Okay, thank you very much.